There's a question I've been thinking about for a long time. Why do so many talented musicians hold themselves back? Not because they lack skill, not because they don't love music, but because something inside them keeps stopping them. Maybe you've experienced this by yourself. You know you should share your music more. You know you should contact venues. You know you should post your work online. But somehow you hesitate. You wait, you postpone. And the strange thing is, many musicians then think the problem is discipline. But very often the real problem is something deeper. Fear. Not the obvious kind of fear, but a hidden one. Many musicians believe the biggest challenge is becoming good enough. But the moment you become visible, something else happens. Your music stops being private. Other people can hear it. They can react to it. They can like it. Or they can reject it. And suddenly the question becomes very personal. Not just, is the music good, but what does this say about me? This is why sharing music can feel so vulnerable. Because music is rarely just a product. For many musicians, it's an expression of identity. And when identity becomes visible, the possibility of rejection becomes real. One interesting thing about musicians is this. Practice often feels safe. You can spend hours improving your technique, learning new songs, working on your sound, and all of that is valuable. But practice also protects you from something. Exposure. Because as long as you are practicing, you're still preparing. You are not yet stepping into the moment where the world responds. And sometimes preparation quietly becomes a hiding place. Not intentionally, but psychologically. I've seen this many times with musicians. Someone plays incredibly well. They have spent years developing their craft, but when it comes to sharing their music more openly, something inside hesitates. They say things like, I'm not ready yet, I need to improve a bit more, maybe next year. But the interesting thing is, often they are already good enough. What they are really afraid of is something else. The moment where the music meets the world. There is a beautiful idea from Timothy Galway. He wrote about what he called the inner game. And one of his most famous observations is this. The opponent within one's own head is more formidable than the one on the other side of the net. I think he compared it to tennis. For musicians, this is incredibly relevant because sometimes the biggest obstacle is not the audience, not the industry, not other musicians, but the inner voice inside your own mind. The voice that says, this isn't good enough. You are not ready. People will judge you. Why would anyone care? And that voice can become very convincing. When you look closely, the hidden fear often has a deeper layer. It's not only fear of criticism, it's also fear of indifference, because criticism at least means someone reacted. But indifference can feel like invisibility. And invisibility touches something very human. You need to matter, to be heard, to be seen. And that's why putting music into the world can feel emotionally intense. But there's also another way to see this. Sharing music is not only exposure, it's connection. Music is a language, and like any language, it becomes alive when it is used with other people. Victor Wooten once said something very simple but very true. Music is a language, and languages are not learned in isolation. They are learned in conversation. So what can musicians do with this fear? The answer is not to eliminate it. Fear is a natural part of creativity. The real shift is learning to move with the fear instead of waiting for it to disappear. Sometimes the next step is simple. Just share a song, playing a gig, post a video, join the session. Not because you feel completely ready, but because growth happens through contact with the real world. Many musicians believe the biggest challenge is talent, but often the real challenge is courage. The courage to be visible, the courage to be imperfect, the courage to let the world hear what you have to offer. Because the truth is very simple. The world cannot respond to music it never encounters. If these ideas resonate with you, subscribe to the channel. Here on Music in Mind, we explore the psychological side of being a musician, the inner patterns that shape creativity, performance, and the path of a musical life. And if you feel that music sometimes becomes too serious or heavy, you might also enjoy my video about bringing play back into music. Inspired by the ideas of Timothy Galway. You'll find it right here.